Right.
Alright, so we're going to do a assembly disassembly setup for the DLK 500 series guns, cold glue guns. So for this one here, you're going to need a 10mm wrench for the nozzle, and it's a 13 for the stroke adjust. So as far as proper setup for the gun, so all the way counterclockwise is fully open or up, and clockwise brings the hardware down to where the stroke connects with the armature. So when you're setting up a gun, if you can bring in a little closer here, so you bring it all the way down until it stops, and you can kind of see on the little flathead part here where your alignment is. So that if that's fully closed, you would want to go quarter turn to half a turn is your operation range. So anywhere in there is going to be where you're going to want to set your stroke adjustment. So you would go start closed, quarter turn, and then half a turn, and then come back to the in between those two in the middle is where I kind of like to start with. So that would be proper setup. But for disassembly, what you want to do is you want to back it all the way off, back your stroke all the way off, bring it back forward just a couple clicks, because that prevents binding. And then you can go ahead and take your stroke out. If you're going to replace your stroke, or if you're just doing a cleaning or something like that, always check your O-ring, make sure it ain't broke or bit into or anything like that. You got to keep it lubed so it doesn't dry up. Keep O-ring grease on that. So once you have that out, you can take your nozzle and armature off. This is a new gun, so it has a bunch of oil in it, but so at this point, if you were changing the nozzle or just cleaning, you would go ahead and do so. Always check your armature ball to make sure it's not worn, cracked. Make sure your shaft of your armature is perfectly centered. It's not bent or anything like that. Once you do what you're going to do with it here, and you go back to reassemble it, so you're going to put your armature back in first, and then put your nozzle on, and you're going to want to fully tighten the nozzle down before you put your stroke back on. If you do it any other order, you could damage something. You never want your stroke in here when you're messing with the armature and nozzle. So we'll go ahead and tighten that down. And now we're going to put the stroke in, but we always want to check and make sure it's still fully counterclockwise, so that when you put it in and go to tighten it, if it's already closed, you run the risk of doing some damage there as well. So we just make sure it's fully backed off, and then bring it back a couple clicks and go ahead and screw it back on. And you can tighten it down. And now you can bring your stroke back in and set it between quarter and half turn. And the gun is set up for operation at this point. Good to go.